No matter the length of your trip, being prepared for mechanicals and mishaps is important. While some of my day rides I get by with the basics, with bike packing, you're a little bit further off the grid, a little bit more removed from help. You want to be prepared for the worst. In this video, I'm hopefully going to help you with that by sharing my complete bike packing repair kit. Let's do it. Repair kits are somewhat of a balancing act, and they're very dependent on your route plans and your route location. While some folks may carry an extra tire or say a chain on a world tour, others may not even carry those extra brake pads on an overnighter. I'm going to share my repair kit, which isn't a minimalist repair kit, but it's definitely not a world touring repair kit. But I feel like this repair kit covers all of the needs on my bike and some needs at camp. Before I get into my repair kit, Logan put a really great repair kit together. So if you want to check that out, it is linked in the description below. So a few items that I'm always carrying on my day rides, but also carrying with me on my bike packing trips are a pump, specifically a high volume pump. This is the Topeak Race Rocket Mountain, so it's meant for bigger volume tires such as a mountain bike tire. And I like this because, well, it really actually allows me to pump in a lot of air rather quickly, so I don't have to pump it all that often. And when you have a mountain bike tire, you're probably aiming for somewhere around 20 psi, give or take, depending on your weight. This pump works really well. Another thing is just a regular tube, and this is a tube that is specific to my tire diameter, so 29er or 27.5, or if you have a plus tire, you want to look at plus tubes. You could probably get away with a 29er tube fitting in a 27.5, a 27.5 tube fitting in a 29er. But if you do have more narrow tires, such as a 700 by 40 or 45, or a 650B by 40 or 50, you're probably going to want a specific tube for that tire. Oftentimes I carry one, especially if I am in like the desert or something like that, because I don't necessarily want to put a tube in. This is the absolute last resort. And I get into that in my tubeless video resource. And if you want to watch that, I'll link that below, and it covers all things tubeless repair, and it's very detailed. So I'm going to start with my spokes, and I also have some zip ties rubber banded to the spokes. The spokes here, I have just 2 spokes, one of each length, so that in the event that I do break a spoke, I could either bring it into a bike shop, or I probably can replace the spoke and help tension the wheel with these spokes here. Zip ties, you really can never have too many of them, and there's unlimited uses for them, so they're a great thing to have. Inside this Bedrock Sinbad stash pack has basically all of my repair needs. This bag is really great because it has a little bit of a rubberized material, and so it actually sticks to your frame. I typically like to put it on the underneath side of my frame bag. It's easily accessible, it's out of the way, but you can put it basically anywhere, and you can also put it underneath your saddle rail. So this is a super, super diverse bag. On top of that bag, where it's super easily accessible, is my Topeak Alien 3 multi-tool. This tool is fantastic, and I talk about this tool in my multi-tools resource video that I did, and I'll definitely link that in the description below. But essentially, this tool has everything I need on it, including a 8mm, which is fantastic to have for pedals. It's got a knife, it's got wrenches, it's got everything, and it has a really great chain brake tool. So this is my go-to multi-tool for bike packing. Moving on, I have some CO2, and this is again because I really want to help repair my tire before I put a tube in. So if I do, say, stitch a sidewall or something like that, this CO2 is great. I know a lot of folks use CO2 for racing, but I'm not doing that. I'm using CO2 so that I can actually keep my tubeless setup tubeless. I also carry some wolf tooth pack pliers. So it's pliers so that you can actually undo a quick link for your chain. It also carries 2 sets of quick links, and you'll want to make sure that these quick links are the proper speed and proper company of your chain. So if you are running a Shimano 12 speed, you're going to want to make sure that you have Shimano 12 speed quick links. The other unique feature of this tool is it comes with a tire lever, and this tire lever it's aluminum, so it's going to be super strong. But I do have a backup tire lever on my Alien 3 multi-tool. This tool also comes with a valve core remover tool. I found that this isn't the best way to remove your valve core, so I actually have a different tool in here. But in the event that you don't carry a specific one or you forget one, you have one on here. I also carry a 2-ounce bottle of Stan's, and if you're running tubeless, this is a must in the backcountry, especially if you want to keep your tire tubeless. So just in case I do have a puncture and I lose a lot of sealant, I can refill. I also carry the valve core remover tool from Stan's. It's both Presta and Schrader, so whatever you're running, it works. It's a little bulky, but I like the bulk because it's a lot more convenient and easier to remove your core with one of these. I also carry a standalone 4mm Allen key. And this is nice because a lot of the parts on my bike, grips, stems, can be adjusted with my 4mm. Standalone Allen keys are much easier to use than multi-tools, so adjusting things on the fly with this is a lot easier. I also have some tape and some nylon thread attached to this, so if I need some Gorilla tape, some electrical tape, and this nylon thread is so I can either sew a sidewall or a bike packing bag. So in this little baggie here, I have a real derailleur hanger, or one that is going to be a little bit stronger than probably my stock derailleur hanger. And this is from Wheels Manufacturing. And if you are looking for a stronger derailleur hanger, Wheels Manufacturing is just that for you. So head to your local bike shop. They will definitely be able to get one of these for you. They're awesome. Maybe a little pricey, but worth it. So other items in this bag, I have some spare brake pads. And this is obvious, especially if you're running through wet, crummy conditions. Brake pads definitely wear down a little bit faster. Having a spare no matter what, I feel like is a must. I also carry some thicker duct tape or just wider duct tape, and this is just great. You can kind of be creative, but you can fix some bike packing bags, boot a tire. I also carry some crazy glue, and this crazy glue is important for me, especially when I do repair a sidewall. And like I said, I mentioned that in my tubeless repair video, so if you want to reference that, you can below. It's also good to have for a variety of other reasons, such as repairing a bike packing bag, maybe a part on your bike or something like that. If there's a pivot that is really loose, you get it stuck with some super glue. Super glue is super handy, so bring it. Another item I have in this little baggie is a spare cleat with bolts. So if you do run a clipless system, you may want to consider carrying a specific cleat to fit your pedal. You never know if something like that would fail. Finally, the last item in that bag is this box, this plastic box, and it's kind of falling apart. It's being held together by some duct tape. But inside this box is small parts. All right, so there's a lot in here. I have a spare chain. I have a plug with a bacon strip already on the plug, ready to go. I have extra bacon strips. I have a curved needle and thread to sew, like I said, a sidewall or bike packing bag. I have an extra valve core, just in case I have one that breaks or fails on me. I have some patch kits here, some stick-on patch kits for a tube. I have an extra brake pad bolt or brace to hold the brake pads in. I have top cap bolts, brake bolts, rotor bolts, brake and shifter lever bolts. I would definitely be carrying some chainring bolts if my system wasn't a direct mount chainring. I've got a water bottle cage bolt. I've got a bolt that I'm not 100% sure what it does. I've got this fancy star nut bolt for my dropper lever. I've got another fancy bolt for my shifter. I basically have a bolt to repair everything, and really the bolts aren't that specific. A lot of them are M4s or M5s with a very similar thread pitch. So more times than not, you can actually get by with using one of these bolts, even if it's not meant for it. So moving on to some other items. This is a first aid kit. And in my first aid kit, I actually have an extra cable, a shifter cable. And this is great because it is nice and tucked away in here. It's safe. Shifter cables, they're really hard to pack, but in my case, it packs really well inside this little waterproof baggie. So these items are here. This is a patch kit for a sleeping pad. This is going to live in with my sleeping pad, and this is a tent crutch. This is going to live with my tent poles. Patch kits, they're an obvious need. I've used them a lot, and from time to time, your sleeping pad will find a hole in it. So bringing one of these along is a must. And then the crutch, just in case of a wind event or you get angry at your tent and you snap a pole, this will definitely help crutch it temporarily. And a lot of times the crutch will fit on over the tent pole. You might have to actually tape the crutch in place. So I have a bunch of tape on the crutch itself. I have some nylon thread, athletic tape, and duct tape. And this is just, I carry a lot of duct tape because you just never know. I mean, I have enough duct tape to probably repair a frame. So duct tape, it goes a long way. And then obviously a fire starter. This is going to live in my stove kit, but this can be a repair item as well for a variety of things or a survival need, but we'll get into survival in a different video. All right, and right here is my stinky cheese, better known as the Dumontec original formula. And this Dumontec chain lube is my favorite because it's extremely concentrated. I don't have to actually apply very much to the chain itself. And it works extremely well in my environment here where it's super dry. When my chain dries out, this stuff just resurrects my drivetrain. It's fantastic. What I've done here is I've put it in a Visine container, so it's a little bit of a smaller container. And typically I'll carry this in the side of my frame bag or even in like a really close pouch on my stem bag so that I can easily get to it, so that I can make sure that my drivetrain is running properly, because applying chain lube is a crucial step in the day-to-day maintenance, especially during a bike trip. And I typically put this on once in the morning and potentially once at night, but definitely once a day at least. And then finally, this Gerber little Leatherman deal or pocket knife. Someone actually gave me this one year. I was working at Angry Catfish in Minneapolis, and they gave it to me because they were about to fly on a plane and they didn't realize they flew with it in the first place. So I got it and I've been using it a lot. Obviously, it's great to have a set of pliers out in the field if you need to pluck a cactus out of your body, or plucking a needle through a tire when you're trying to sew a sidewall, or just taking something out of the tire that's stuck in it, or a splinter, what have you. And it obviously has some other tools like a knife. Oh, and a bottle opener. So if you want to crack your Mexican Coke or your beer, yummy. And that about does it. No, I don't carry an extra tire. I don't carry an extra chain. I don't carry an extra derailleur or shifter, but I do carry the parts that can most likely fix all of those items. So if you have something in your repair kit that I didn't show today, leave it in the comment section below. And let me know if you're shocked by anything that I did or didn't carry. If you like what you saw in this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And if you want to help us out a little bit more and you like what you see in these videos and you want to support us, consider joining the Bikepacking Collective. The Bikepacking Collective is BIKEPACKING.com's annual membership that helps support us as a whole. It helps support the articles on our website, it helps support the video that you're watching right now, and it helps support our print publication, the Bikepacking Journal. So I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can learn more about the Bikepacking Collective. And thank you all so much for supporting us. And until next time, pedal further.